Course Outcome 8. Use diplomatic and positive language at work. Learning outcomes. Use a variety of strategies to employ diplomatic language. Deliver messages with a positive tone. Make and respond to requests appropriately. Give and receive feedback constructively. How to use diplomatic English in meetings is a key communication skill to be successful in doing business in international environments. Building and maintaining relationships is an interpersonal skill that relies on mutual respect and many times diplomacy. How to use diplomatic English. 1. Using softeners. Bad example is, I have to cancel the meeting. Good example, I'm afraid I have to cancel the meeting. Or, I'm so sorry but I have to cancel the meeting. And unfortunately, something's come up and I have to cancel the meeting. Modal verbs, such as would, could, may, and might. A bad example would be, I want more time, or give me an answer by tomorrow. Good examples are, I could do with more time, or it would be so helpful to have more time. And could you give me an answer by tomorrow? Using qualifiers such as one or two, slightly, a little bit, few. Bad example would be, we are having problems with a new medical device, or we're going to run over budget, or the launch plans are behind schedule. Good example would be, we are having one or two problems with a new product, or we're going to run slightly over budget, and the launch plans are a little bit behind schedule. Using passive voice. Bad example is, you said you were going to sign the contract today, or you agreed to lower your fees. Good example would be, we were told that you were going to sign the contract today, or it was agreed you would lower your fees. Negative question forms. A bad example is, we should change the wording of our recommendations for client report, or the report needs to be much shorter to save time for clients. Good example is, shouldn't we change the wording of our recommendations for the client report, or couldn't we shorten the report to save time for client? Another example is, we must inform the stakeholders about the issue immediately. And a good example is, couldn't we arrange to inform you the stakeholders immediately? Using the past continuous. A bad example is, I hope we can come to an agreement today, or I think we should choose ABA as a preferred supplier. Good example is, I was hoping we could come to an agreement today, or I was thinking we should choose ABA as a preferred supplier. Using the past continuous progressive also demonstrates the use of the following examples. Bad example, I plan to organize a conference call to discuss the issue. As opposed to a good example, I was planning to organize a conference call to discuss the issue. Rephrasing a negative sentence. A bad example is, I haven't finished the report, or I won't have the report ready by then. Good example can be, I have not been able to finish the report yet, or I won't be able to have the report ready by then. Constructive feedback. Constructive feedback is supportive feedback given to individuals to help identify solutions to areas of weakness they may have. Therefore, it comes with positive intentions and is used as a supportive communication tool to address specific issues or concerns. Purpose of constructive feedback. The purpose of constructive feedback is to give feedback to an individual in a way that will lead to improvements or corrections. This is important as it enhances personal and professional growth in individuals. For example, constructive feedback can improve employee morale, reduce confusion regarding expectations and current performance, provide a new perspective and give valuable insight to the person receiving feedback, positively impact an individual's behavior. Tips for making feedback constructive. Focus on observation and not inference. Constructive feedback should relate to what you can see or hear about the person's behavior rather than making assumptions and interpretations. Focus on behavior and not on the individual. Constructive feedback should be about what the individual did rather than who the individual is. Focus on things that can be changed. Constructive feedback should be about things that a person can change and improve on rather than on something that is out of his or her control. Provide recommendations and solutions. Constructive feedback should include a specific solution or recommendation. How to give constructive feedback. State the purpose of your feedback. State what you will be talking about and why it is important. Describe what you have observed and your reaction. Clearly identify the action or event and how it makes you or other members feel. Give the individual an opportunity to respond. After you have stated a purpose, importance, and observation, and your reaction, ask the person what they think about it. Offer specific suggestions or solutions. After you hear the individual out, give input as to how the situation can be improved. Summarize everything discussed. Summarize everything that was discussed to avoid misunderstandings. Also, summarizing helps ensure that the constructive feedback was communicated effectively.
Are you ready? All right, let's get started.
In this lesson, you're going to learn 5 ways to improve your business communication by using diplomatic language. The first of these is by using softeners before a negative statement. So, instead of simply saying something negative, you can use softeners to make it more diplomatic. Some of the softeners you can use include I'm afraid, it appears, it seems. Rather than simply saying, you misunderstood the question, by using a softener, we could say, it seems you misunderstood the question. This lessens the impact of the negative statement and stops it sounding so direct. The next way we use diplomatic language is through what we call reductive quantifiers. For example, a little, slight, somewhat. Here, we can take the heat out of a potentially negative statement. For example, instead of saying, we have a problem, we can reduce the impact by saying, "We have a slight problem." Another way to make your communication more diplomatic is through the use of would and could. So, changing a sentence like, "Can you call back later?" to "Could you call back later?" immediately makes it less direct and reduces the risk of causing offense. Approximations are another way that we can communicate more diplomatically. They immediately reduce the impact of a potential misunderstanding or offensive situation. Changing a sentence like, "We were expecting the delivery today," to "We were sort of expecting the delivery today," is another way to keep the tone of the communication more positive. And finally, when you're communicating in business, it is more diplomatic to refer to yourself as "we" rather than "I." When you do that, it shows you're speaking on behalf of a company and not yourself as an individual. So rather than saying, "I'm very sorry about the error," that can be changed to "We are very sorry about the error." You immediately reduce the potential negative impact when you're making a negative statement. In this session, the dialogues show you various examples of diplomatic language in use. See which ones you can see being used.
Dialogue 1.
Now, in Dialogue 1, we're going to see two versions of the same dialogue. The first one is without the use of diplomatic language. The second version uses diplomatic language.
Hello, STP Consulting.
Hello, can I speak to Hugo Sanchez?
I can't hear you. Speak louder.
Can I speak to Hugo Sanchez?
Mr. Sanchez is in a meeting. Call back later.
Now we're going to listen to a more diplomatic version of the dialogue.
Hello, STP Consulting. Anna speaking.
Good morning. Can I speak to Hugo Sanchez, please?
I'm afraid I can't hear you. Could you speak a bit louder?
Can I speak to Hugo Sanchez, please?
It looks like Mr. Sanchez is in a meeting. Could you call back later, please?
See which examples of diplomatic language you can spot being used.
Let's check the answers and see how you did. Hello, STP Consulting. Anna speaking.
Good morning. Can I speak to Hugo Sanchez, please?
I'm afraid I can't hear you. Could you speak a bit louder?
Can I speak to Hugo Sanchez, please?
It looks like Mr. Sanchez is in a meeting. Could you call back later, please? Dialogue 2. We've got a problem.
What problem?
Our sales are too low this month. What's going on?
We're too expensive? It is difficult to sell to our customers.
You didn't read the email I sent you last week. Our promotional offers are in there.
Can you email it again? I didn't receive it.
I'm busy at the moment. I'll send it tomorrow.
Now use the expressions covered in the lesson to make the dialogue more diplomatic.
We've got a slight problem.
What sort of problem?
It looks like our sales are too low this month. What's going on?
It appears we're too expensive. It is a bit difficult to sell to our customers.
It seems you didn't read the email I sent you last week. Our promotional offers are in there.
Could you email it again? I'm afraid I didn't receive it.
I'm afraid I'm rather busy at the moment. I'll send it tomorrow. Let's check the answers and see how you did. We've got a slight problem.
What sort of problem?
It looks like our sales are too low this month. What's going on?
It appears we're too expensive. It is a bit difficult to sell to our customers.
It seems you didn't read the email I sent you last week. Our promotional offers are in there.
Could you email it again? I'm afraid I didn't receive it.
I'm afraid I'm rather busy at the moment. I'll send it tomorrow. Here are some useful expressions. Listen and repeat. It seems you misunderstood the question. It appears the package wasn't delivered today. I'm afraid the price is a bit too high. It looks like we'll have to cancel our meeting. There's a slight problem here. She is somewhat busy at the moment. He's a little stressed out today. Could you repeat that, please? Would you mind calling back later? We were sort of hoping for a price of below $50 per unit. We do apologize for the error.